It's a bit of a balance between getting in behind this headland to cut down the amount of junk and slop that we've got to deal with.
Ooh. Look at that, eh?
Catfish! This morning we are brownwater sailing. So we went over a shoal then.
Yeah, if you look on the chart, it says there that it's 9 metres deep, but it's plainly not. We've just decided to have a bit of a discussion. We've got a cyclone coming again, Pascal. It's those cockies have been into the red berries. It's all bad.
Cyclone number 2.
There's a cyclone predicted, and it's predicted on 2 separate models. So we've got a fair indication that it is actually going to form. So it's going to form in the Gulf of Carpentaria, and it's going to cross the coast, isn't it?
Yep.
Around about Wednesday, Thursday, they're predicting north of Cairns.
Around Cooktown.
Around Cooktown, and one model says that it's going to go out to the Solomons and annoy them, and another one says it's going to go out around Fiji, Vanuatu, and then bend back in.
Come back in around Townsville.
Yeah. So at the moment, our situation is we're broke. Right, we're running low on our nice rainwater.
Yeah. We don't have any fish.
We don't have any fish
for
whatsoever.
days.
We've decided against going to the marina. Well, I don't even know if we can use the marina. We don't have fully comprehensive. We've only got third-party insurance from Rural, which is great for most marinas around Australia. But here in this area, they must have been screwed over by some insurance companies or something like that. But
yeah,
we're demanding fully comprehensive. So be warned if you're sailing up the coast. A lot of the marinas here, if you want to use them, are going to ask for that.
Yeah.
So the plan of action, Pascal, is, what do you reckon? We can get a pretty good line out to the Chevelle reefs, and that's only 70 miles offshore.
Only. Nice and clear it will be, hopefully.
Yeah.
It's far enough for the water to be crisp.
Yeah. It's sort of not as crazy as it sounds, is it, to go out to sea at this juncture?
Yeah.
And the weather looks pretty good, so you know what else is not going to be out at the reef? Flies.
All these flies.
Do you remember last time around Christmas?
Yeah, it's the same. The same as when we were going into TI straight in January, but the wet season's come earlier.
I think the Percy's might have it because they run livestock there. So there might be flies there too, but there'll be coconuts. So it's a compromise. A bit of a balance between getting in behind this headland to cut down the amount of junk and slop that we've got to deal with, and not going too far in where it gets really shallow.
Had a little bit of a change of plan from yesterday's chat. We're going to actually head for Curlew Island. We just think we're going to be a little bit pressed for time out at the reef, and we might not give ourselves enough time if that cyclone develops north of us. So we're just going to head to Curlew Island, and then we'll see how we go, and we might actually head towards the Percy's. We're just going to keep an eye on the weather with the radio and with the facts.
This has been a good morning. We've been able to tuck into the bays that are giving us protection from the south. So we've got a south to north running current. Because we're hugging the bays in shallows up in the 2-3 metre ground, we're out of the current. So we're making really great south all through the ebb tide. And when we pop out from this headland, we'll only have to put up with current for maybe an hour or so pushing us that way, and then it'll shift and push us south. So it's all worked out pretty well. It's probably getting a little bit shallow to be on this tack. Yeah, so we'll just head out of this bay now. We've got about 1.7 metres under us. So, and I know it's going to get shallow real quick. Yeah, so that's it's all just come together today quite nicely. We're just cruising around at the moment with things pretty reefed up. I'm actually starting to think about shaking out a reef, but we'll just see how we go once we get out from behind this headland here.
We'd spent the morning tacking to navigate around Cape Palmerston, and then it was a fairly straightforward run east out to Curlew Island, just in time for a beautiful sunset anchorage.
Blue skies, but we'd like some rain, wouldn't we?
Bit thirsty. Going to Thirsty Sound thirsty.
We are going into Thirsty Sound thirsty.
Like Captain Cook.
And Flinders. Captain Cook named it Thirsty Sound though. He said there was no water there. There's a little town, Plumtree.
Yeah.
But it's more of a settlement. I don't know if it can be relied on for anything really.
A bit civilised, going 6 knots and you can't even tell really in here.
I reckon once we change our tack to get inside the passage, you'll feel it then. Like at the moment we're on a decent sort of reach, but when we come in, we'll have to be close hauled for a short amount of time to get actually in there.
A look at this chart will show you that good navigation and a constant lookout is required when sailing the Capricorn coast. It's littered with shoals, islets and tidal runs. The entry into Broad Sound was additionally challenging because of the dirty water, and we watched our sounder very carefully.
Oh, look at that, eh?
That's not going to catch a fish. Hopefully not a shark gets it. Nice. We've still got a bait.
Still got a bait.
With burleyed up fish food on it. You on?
Yeah.
Oh, it's fighting hard. Catfish!
Okay, so I'll bleed them out like we do with any fish. So these are fork-tail catfish. And you know what, they don't really have a great reputation. A lot of fishermen throw them back. But I've had them before, and these fork-tail catties aren't too bad. If you get them and they're really big, they can be a bit coarse. And they're not great. Oh, he's kicking his last as the last of the blood goes out. It was really important. If we just look back to when I was landing, it's really important when you're getting these guys, they've got 3 spikes. One that's up on the dorsal fin and 2 in their pectoral fins coming out the side. You've got to get those off. All right. those catfish, they'll thrash around, they'll deliberately, because it is the weapon that they've been endowed with, they'll deliberately try and spike you with those spines, and there is a venom in there and it will ruin your day. So we knocked the sides off, knocked him on the head. They got a bony plate in the head, incredibly hard to kill outright. So really cut the gills and bleed them out. And that's about it. So then what we're going to do, I'm going to have to get a nice sharp knife, and much like a shark, I'll knock the fillets off, and then we'll skin the fillets once they're done. Some people drive a stick through their head and put that you know, on 2 forks, do it round and pull the skin off like that, and you can do that. But I think we'll just do it the old-fashioned way with us.
Cool.
The other thing that I'm going to do is, once we finish filming here, I'm going to start up the little water pump and get my scrubbing brush and scrub all the slime off. The one that stopped kicking there, the smaller first one, we'll scrub him up, and then we'll knock the sides off it. You can see also how easy it would be if I left those spines just to crack, and it would have, it really is an unpleasant experience to do it. So fill it in a different way. You look like a shark, eh?
Such a big fish, it's not that much meat.
Well, all of this is just bony plates in there.
Yeah.
I mean, you could definitely get in there and get a soup out of it, I guess. Pretty premier crab bait, wouldn't it?
This morning we are brownwater sailing into a little settlement called Plumtree. We've run out of coffee. I'm not even sure if we're going to be able to replace it with beans there, but we're in crab country now, so our key aim is to go out and get a crab pot, really, from this mission, because we want to eat some more crab. So we went over a shoal then.
Yeah, if you look on the chart, it says there that it's 9 metres deep, but it's plainly not. So you could see the surface getting all roiled up, and when we went over it was like 2.9 metres. Back there I could see that it was, the way the water was reacting, it was quite shallow. That's why we threw in that tack. But in this brown water you're totally restricted to surface cues, and it'd be nice if the chart was telling you the truth. But it looks like that was just an unmarked shoal out in the middle of some deeper water. We're back into 5 metres of water now. So we just had to skirt around where I could see it all acting up.
Normally we have plenty of time to relax with the boat on autopilot, but the last couple of weeks has seen a need for one of us to constantly manage the tiller.
Yeah, well that was pretty crazy coming into there. Like, we were coming down that side, the wind was coming like this, and we were just struggling to make it. You know, like just really coming fine. Now we've come around this corner and now the wind is coming from this way. We were going that way and the wind was coming like that. Now we're going like this and the wind is like almost hard on the nose.
But it's alright now because there's no seas or anything. We're in the protection of the...
Well, it's cool, you know, because we're going to be reaching up this stretch, so it means we'll have plenty of power.
Making apparent.
Yeah, but it just suddenly went from hard south-southeast as we were coming south, and now that we're going northeast, it's gone hard east, like that. That's just madness, the madness of sailing. Like, it's really true. When I started, you talk to old sailors and they go, the wind is always on the nose, and you're like, cynical old buggers, you know. No, look at that, we're just being pushed straight to a mud bank because the wind's changed. Unreal. We are hard on the weather. We are hard on the wind again.
Even though we've literally like turned a proper corner.
We were on a starboard tack going that way. And now we're on a starboard tack coming this way, but hard to weather. Oh. Well, it's gone from completely blowing like crazy to knocking down to about 8 knots now. Oh, here comes a gust. There's rain on the horizon and we're pretty keen to get a hold of something. We're on water rations at the moment, no washing. So we think we've got enough to last. We're actually looking forward to a cyclone coming over the top of us, which is a bit of a turnout for the books. It only looks like a small one, but it'll bring some much welcome rain with it. Look at that main sheet, that is light wind.
We're making laksa with our catfish that we caught yesterday.
That is a great idea.
Mushroom and catfish laksa, and I've kept the hood, the nice part of the squid as well. We're going to put that into.
My bait.
I know I'm using for a bait. We've got the bloodline of the catfish, and we've also got the bloodline of the catfish, and we've also got the wings of the squid left, and the guts of the squid. So
yeah, cool.
We've got a bit of bait.
Our gimbal stove doesn't have too much work to do at the moment.
No.
It was working pretty hard before though.
This is me trying to cook the noodles in minimal water. We're on water rations.
Catfish are good.
Especially in a laksa like that.
It's not fishy, doesn't have a strong flavour. It's not as firm as like Queenie or anything, or even shark. Some people say it's like a shark, but I guess when they come on board the thing looks a little bit like a shark, but it's nowhere near as firm as shark, and the texture's not the same. It's pretty good. It's a soft flaky fish, you know. It's soft without being mushy. Most people will want to throw them back because they got those spines on them, and they're super slimy and a hassle to deal with.
And they're also hard to fillet.
I didn't find them hard to fillet, I just hadn't done it before. But it was sort of like a shark chopping downwards, but you don't get great recovery. If you wanted something to eat for yourself and something to use for your crab pots, I think a catfish is probably a pretty good deal.
Exiting Thirsty Sound on our way to visit the town of Plumtree, we got a taste of the tidal flows that occur here. We saw about 4.5 knots of run, but it can reach 6 knots through this narrow pass between Quail Island and the Tarilla Peninsula of mainland Australia.
Alright, so here we are, this is our New Year's. We're in Plumtree.
A belated New Year's. A belated New Year's drink.
Happy New Year, everyone. Beers. Well, we've stopped in at the little, what would you call it, a hamlet settlement? A little blip on the map called Plumtrees. And we've just got some really important stores, like some corn kernels.
This is really, really
and
important.
most importantly, Mozzie coils.
Because we're currently in mangroves and muds.
That's all it is as far as we can see. And we're just going to go and get a mud crab pot as well, because our other one went MIA. So we're down one mud crab pot and we're going to go and get one. They're $60 here, but that's not bad because they're commercial quality.
They're really good.
They're pretty hefty old crab pots. So I guess once we leave Queensland, someone will get gifted it, but we should be able to use it for a fair bit till then.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing that you do here, fishing and crabbing. And the fishing's not that good now, this time of the year, so
it probably is, but we
away.
haven't really applied ourselves yet. But yeah, we'll see how we go. But anyway, that's us. We've stopped. We've stopped free-ranging for a couple of hours, and we're just having a beer.
Cheers.
Well, that's not a model aeroplane, that's the local cicadas. It's hot. Crazy. Let's go take our new crab pot.
Look at our crab pot. It's a serious professional.
Well galvanised, isn't it? Nice and heavy. Friendly fella.
So does that mean it's not going to rust as quickly, the galvanising?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, really good. Heavy.
If you enjoyed the video this week, please don't forget to give it a like. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay notified of all our upcoming videos. Thanks for watching and see you next week.